Hello, this is Linda Frazee, and I want to talk to you today about getting out of your own way. You know, when you want to do something different, like improve your career or start a new relationship or move to a different town or quit a job, anything like that, there can be things on the material plane that you have to do. You might have to learn something. You might have to do things that aren't much fun. You might have to make some phone calls, try something different. And we can feel like those are the roadblocks that we have to get through and they keep us from getting done what we want to. But the truth is, the real hurdle is inside of us. And that's the one I want to talk to you about today, about getting out of your own way. So I've been helping people for 40 years get out of their own way to find success and happiness in whatever way that they define that. So what are some ways that we typically get out of our own way? Well, the very first thing is from our past, way long ago. When we were little, we heard things that our family said. Most of the things that are negative in our subconscious that hold us back are not even things that we heard said, they were just demonstrated. Or we watched our relatives or the people around us, our extended family, act in certain ways, so we just took them on as if that's the truth. Even before your frontal lobe was really developed enough to know that you could make a difference, that there could be a different thing, or maybe that isn't right, or maybe you'd like to do it differently. So all the people in your extended family, the early negative vibes that you might have gotten, even in school or even religious leaders, might have contributed to the fact that you might have a negative belief about yourself, about really going beyond your limits about in any way, shape, or form that you don't even know. So that's those very early things. Now, the second thing is when we're teenagers. Teenagers are you remember being a teenager? You're so self-conscious. Everything seems so important. It feels like everybody's looking at you and evaluating you. And to some degree, that's more of it. But everybody is still so concerned about themselves that we start to decide who we are, our own self-esteem, based on how we look or how popular we are, or who likes us and who doesn't. And even though that was a long time ago, I can't tell you how many of my clients have come back in and discovered that the holdup that is causing them not to be able to get on with their lives is something that happened in their teenage years that they're still reacting to. So those are two major things from our past that can get in our way. And most of them are subconscious. As I said, we don't even know that that's what's going on. But today I want to add another element. Today I want to talk to you about the Enneagram and the 9 different types of the Enneagram and how each one of those can get in their own way. Now, if you don't know anything about your type or the Enneagram, if you don't even know, you've never heard of it, you can go to my website, lindafrazee.com. That's FRAZEE.com, lindafrazee.com, and you can check out the Enneagram. There's a description of it. There's pictures of people. There's a description of the 9 types. And the best thing to do if you check that out, choose 3 that you think are most like you. But I'm going to go over some of those types today. And you might find that even by the description of what I'm talking about people getting there in their own way, you might identify with one or more of them. So here's a quick overview. Now, the Enneagram is a very, very deep, rich system. I believe it's the best personality and spiritual system that's currently available. And what it does is help you learn about your habits and your habit of mind and your focus of attention and your deep motivation. So this is how this applies to getting in your own way. So the 1 is called the perfectionist. The 1 is very good at details, extremely good at details, getting things done and getting things done right. However, they can be so focused on getting things right that they can get lost in the details and they can be overwhelmed by the details or just so focused on them that they can get on their own way. The 2 is called the helper. Now, the helper is so compassionate and so concerned about other people and is a major helper in many ways. That's why they're called the helper. They are highly attuned to other people's needs and what they need and how to meet those needs. And they're very service oriented. However, they're so service oriented and so concerned about others that they can get in their own way by not attending to their own personal needs. That's put in the background. Now, the 3 is called the achiever, and boy, do they get things done. They get so many things done that actually is their Achilles heel, because they get so many things done that they get exhausted at the end of the day, and they don't have the energy to put on the things that they consider important for themselves. And so that's how they get in their own way. Now, the 4 is right next door to the 3, and they're called the romantic. And sometimes they are very attuned, again, to everybody else's needs, deep emotional needs, their sadness. They can be with you if you have a crisis in your life. You want to have a 4 friend because they'll be right there with you. However, they're so in touch with their feelings that the way they can hold themselves back and get in their own way is they wait to see until they feel right to do what's necessary. So things that need to get done in a timely fashion can get left behind because they're still waiting to feel right to do it. Now the 4 is called the 5 rather, is called the observer on the Enneagram system. And that's for a good reason, because they are very, very good at standing back and watching, making decisions, moving along with facts and figures, and being cautious about seeing the big picture. They have a really good capacity to see the big picture. However, because they can be so internal, they can actually spend a lot of the time in their personal life sort of standing on the sidelines rather than living life in the middle, just jumping into the pool, so to speak. And that would be how they can get in their own way. Now the 6 is called the loyal skeptic, and they are very diligent and loyal and good workers. And boy, if they make a commitment, they're going to be with it for sure. You can really count on a 6, and they're very good in emergencies. However, they also have the capacity to focus more often on worst case scenarios, and because of that, that could keep them from doing the things that they really want to do. They want to step out, but what if this happens? What if that happens? And as a result, they can hold themselves back, and that's how they get in the way. Now the 7, right next door to the 6, is entirely different. They hold themselves back because they are so busy having a great time, this adventure, or this fun, wonderful dynamic adventure who's just out there, is delightful in so many ways, and is always looking for fun things to do and fun people to be with. But they can hold themselves back because they are so busy that they have a hard time staying on the path, of course, of any particular venue that they choose, especially if they get bored. They have to really work with boredom, because after all, boredom to a 7 is almost like death. Now the 8, the protector, has got huge energy, and boy, can they get things done. And they can have a good time in a big way. And the way they can get in their own way is if they are not aware of their intensity. And their intensity can actually push people away or get in their own way of their own success. And last but not least is the 9. The 9 is called the mediator or the harmonizer, and they are easy to get along with. They go along to get along. They're excellent workers, wonderful mates, and at the same time, they get in their own way by being so concerned, very much like the 2, about what other people's needs are, that they forget their own, and they even forget that they even matter. So that's just a broad brush of the Enneagram and how each type can get in their way, at least just one way they can get in the way, and there are more for each, but that's just a broad brush. So what do you do about getting out of your own way? Well, the first thing you do is you notice those old voices inside that are from your childhood or your teenage years or some other incident in your life when you were younger that say things to you like, oh, you can't do that, or no, don't even try, or that's way above your pay grade. All those kind of negative things that you even can hear yourself say deep inside. So don't just accept them. If you're by yourself, like if you're driving in the car by yourself, or you're someplace where you can talk out loud, it's best if you don't do this in front of other people. Talk back to those and say, look, I didn't ask for your opinion. I can do this. I'm grown up now. I know how to do this. This is not your problem. Just let me do this. So that's the first thing. Don't just let these voices be in your head. Begin to notice them and talk back to them whenever possible. If you're in a meeting and you're having this, best that you don't do that in a meeting, but you could write down on a piece of paper if you could, whatever. No, talk back to yourself. So that's the first thing. Second thing, if you don't know your Enneagram style, please go to my website and check it out and pick 3 that are most like you and see what you identify with there so that you can work the deeper issues of what's really going on. I'm Linda Frazee, and I am a coach for what comes next. So I would invite you to go to my website, lindafrazee.com. I've enjoyed talking to you today. Have a good day.